Well, as we all suspected, Lori did not show up to present Tylee and JJ to Idaho authorities. So what happens now? That's a damn good question. Hi friends, how are we doing today? Today again, we're going to talk about Lori Vallow and her crazy ass and what she's still not doing. And what she's still not doing is letting people know where the hell her children are. Where are Tylee and JJ? That's what everybody wants to know. And she's kind of hung herself at this point because by not filling people in a long time ago where her children were, all of these other suspicious things have come to light. And this broad is just really screwing herself, if you ask me. On Thursday, I uploaded a very detailed timeline that took us up to the point of Thursday, January 30th, 2020. That was a very basic timeline. There are some other things that need to be added into that, but because there was so much attention finally on this case, I wanted to provide something that gave people like the basic rundown and get them acquainted so they knew which rabbit hole they wanted to go down with any particular part of the case. Now the link to that timeline video will be down below. If you haven't already watched it, I definitely invite you to do so and leave me your feedback. And if you have any other information that you feel needs to be added in there, drop it in the comment section down below. And if I find that information to be credible, I will definitely add it in there. This is definitely a team effort. The more eyes we have on this case, the more noise we can make. And not only to Lori to get her ass in gear and do something, but also to authorities to let them know we're hot on their trail as well and we expect results. Last weekend when we suddenly found out that authorities found them in Hawaii, everybody started questioning how did they know they were there? How long have they been there? What the hell is going on? And why didn't you nab their ass as soon as you saw them? Unfortunately, at this time, in my opinion, I don't feel like there's enough probable cause to catch them for any crime. Are the previous suspicious activities being investigated? Damn right. So I think as time evolves, we might see something more concrete as far as charges. But for right now, the biggest deal is where are Tylee and JJ? East Idaho News released this morning a copy of the court order that Lori was given in regards to presenting the children to Idaho authorities. So we're going to look over that document. Okay, guys, before we read this document, let's look up in the top right-hand corner. It says that this document was filed on January 16th of 2020 at 4:08 p.m. local time. 9 days before she was served, this document was filed. Once this document was filed, did they then locate her in Hawaii, or did they already kind of know where she was so they could have this document filed so they could serve her with it? That's yet to be explained by authorities, but my suspicion is they couldn't file this until they located her. Like we talked about before in a previous video, anybody that's on the run tends to kind of go somewhere they're familiar because they don't want to stick out in a crowd. They just want to lay low and do their thing. I imagine that after speaking to people that knew Lori, they were able to gather that she did in fact love that island. When you look at the body cam footage of police talking to Lori and Tylee on the day that Charles was shot, Tylee is actually wearing a Kauai t-shirt. I'm wondering if Kauai police were just kind of waiting for all this information to get to them and then be able to locate her and be able to serve her hot on the spot. That's just my speculation. So let's read this document and see what it says. See what old Lori had to read. In the District Court of the 7th Judicial District of the State of Idaho, in and for the County of Madison Magistrates Division, in the interest of Tylee and Joshua. The case number is given there if any web sleuths want to go dig into it, but like Idaho authorities have said, normally in family courts, any sort of child issue is kept pretty much under wraps. And they were very clear in the fact that they broke protocol when they told the media and the public that yes, in fact, this order was in effect. Lori had been served and they're moving forward. This case having come before the court of the state's petition under the Child Protective Act and for good cause shown is hereby ordered as follows. The above captioned children shall be placed in shelter care in the custody of Idaho Department of Health Welfare if and when they are located, and they shall be held within 48 hours after placement of the children in shelter care, excluding weekends and holidays. The Idaho Department of Health and Welfare shall conduct an investigation into the health, safety, and welfare of the minor children and provide the resulting report to the court within 15 days from the issuance of this order. That also indicates that they had to have their report in by yesterday, January 31st, 2020. Lori Vallow shall physically produce the minor children to the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare within 5 days of the service of this order. Specifically, Lori must turn over the children to the office of the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, and it gives the address of where she needed to go. Upon the children being placed in shelter care, the court will appoint a guardian ad litem for the children, an attorney for the guardian ad litem, and any attorney for the children pursuant to Idaho statutes. A violation of this order may subject Lori Vallow to criminal and civil contempt of court. You'll notice that that document was watermarked with East Idaho News. These people have been on top of it. If you've seen the video where Lori was being pelted by a reporter in Hawaii after a car was seized, that's Nate Eaton. He was on it. Their reporting on this case has been phenomenal. Definitely, if you're not following them, I will definitely link everything, all their social media links, their website down below. Definitely be sure to check with them regularly because they post updates pretty damn quick. Now, Nate Eaton was also at the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare on Thursday, waiting for Lori. Here's a little clip of what he reported and also Kay Woodcock, JJ's grandmother.
Here at the Rexburg Police Department, no sign of Lori Daybell and her two children, JJ and Tylee. She was issued a court order on Saturday that she had to have those kids here or at the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare in Rexburg, and it appears she did not fulfill that court order. Two people who did show up, JJ's grandparents, the Woodcocks. They say that they're not surprised that Lori didn't come.
She's not going to make it easy. However, I don't know that she realizes the caliber of the people she's playing with, being the law enforcement. So even though she's managed to drag this from Arizona to and Utah and Idaho and now Hawaii, it's going to catch up with her.
Now, it's unclear what will happen now with Lori Daybell because this case is sealed, as are other child protection cases. But a judge could issue a warrant for her arrest because she is in contempt of court. The judge could also issue her a fine, or the judge could decide to do nothing. The prosecutor says he legally cannot comment any more than he has already commented, and the Rexburg Police Department declined to issue any further statements as well. As for Kay Woodcock, she's just hoping for a peaceful resolution.
We've got a whole army of people behind us that are friends and family supporting us and strangers across the nation. I would like for her to be in jail until she talks. If that's a month or a year or whatever the situation, she needs to be there until she talks. She's got to say where they are. She has to. There's one way or the other, she's going to have to come clean.
Now, I also spoke with Fremont County Sheriff Len Humphreys this morning, asking if there are any updates on the autopsy of Tammy Daybell. He tells me nothing new to report. Reporting in Rexburg, I'm Nate Eaton, EastIdahoNews.com.
In my opinion, Lori can have all the disregard to reality that she wants. But for her to continually put the family through not knowing where JJ and Tylee are, it is extremely selfish, and it's just straight up an asshole move. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. Kay and Larry Woodcock have been the voice for JJ and Tylee. Every time you hear Larry talk, he just talks about how awesome of a relationship they had with JJ and how much JJ means to them. Now, if you look up on YouTube, they're full, unedited, uncut interviews. Every single time he talks about the special bond that he and JJ have. And that is heart-wrenching to me. I'm a grandmother. These are my grandkids right here. Aiden is 4 and Kennedy will be 1 at the end of this month. To know the relationship I have with Aiden and how close we are, if I was unable to speak to him and hang out with him the way we do, and that was just taken away in a blink of an eye, I don't know what the hell I would do. You'd have to lock me up somewhere because I would be losing my shit. And the fact that Kay and Larry are so damn reserved and they put themselves in front of the media day after day after day after day. They are very selfless people. All they want is those children to be found. Word came out on Friday, January 31st, that Kay and Larry have filed emergency guardianship for JJ. That states that within 10 days, there must be an update as to where this child is. Now, a lot of people are pissed off because they didn't do that for Tylee. Per Kay's admission, very honest, and said they were never close to Tylee. Yes, they did get to hang out with her when they would visit Arizona or when Charles, Lori, and the kids went to Louisiana to visit them. Tylee to them is their niece. There is no biological connection there. And I'm curious to know within the family court system, I'm wondering because they didn't have a biological relationship to her, that's not an option. People should not judge Kay and Larry based on what they're doing to move forward to find these children because they are busting ass. I do not see any family members besides Colby and Ryan and Kay and Larry Woodcock that are stepping up and saying, hey, we need these kids. And these three people are doing it on a consistent basis. Please do not waste your time judging them or badgering them or writing horrible things on the internet because they are not doing what you think they should do. Legally, everybody's hands are pretty tied at this point. They're doing everything they can to find these children and get them recovered safely. Now, no documents have been released as far as what Kay and Larry have filed. And at this point, they're not going to. Now, it might be possible next time we see Kay and Larry in a press conference, they might explain what's going on with that. But their hands are tied too. They are only allowed to say so much regarding the case. So let's go ahead and take a peek at that tweet. Now, before we even read this tweet, JJ is so gosh damn cute. I can't even stand it. This was posted January 31st, 2020 at 8:08 p.m. Now, Justin Lum at Fox 10, they're out of Arizona, has been on top of this case as well. Just like we talked about Nate Eaton just a few minutes ago. If you haven't followed Justin Lum on Twitter, I highly suggest you do. And ring the bell and make sure that you get notifications for all of his tweets. He will bust out information as fast as he gets it, and he has a lot of credible information. New developments. The grandparents of JJ Vallow tell me they filed for guardianship this week through the Madison County Magistrate Court. They also confirmed the Idaho Department of Health is conducting investigations into the missing children's safety and has until February 10th of 2020. Now, in a subtweet, to clarify, this petition is to file for guardianship of JJ. Family confirms they've been notified that if the children are located, they will be placed in custody of state agency, then appointed guardian. And that is definitely true based on the document that we read just a moment ago. Now, as I record this video, I feel like I sound bitchy, and I probably do because this case is very frustrating. Lori's lack of interest in providing any information into the location of her children just pisses me off. To see with my own eyes what this is doing to Kay and Larry Woodcock and what this is doing to Colby Ryan is heart-wrenching. And enough is enough. This broad is just tooling around Hawaii, living her best life with her little Ziploc of cash, which I'll never understand until somebody explains that. I don't mean to sound like an asshole today. I'm just frustrated with this case. And I was really hoping that when I was able to film the update for this, that we could at least say where Tylee and JJ are. All we're left with is more questions. Why didn't authorities pick her up when they had her in their sights? What are they waiting for? What is going to happen with any and all evidence that they picked up throughout the various search warrants that have been executed since November 27th? What the hell is going to happen? My personal question is, with any other investigation in the history of ever, there's been some sort of press conference. Why hasn't there been a press conference? I feel like authorities are holding back because they don't want to interfere with the integrity of their investigation, and I totally respect that. But now that this case is finally picking up steam in the media and publicly, I feel like authorities need to make themselves available and need to reassure the public that yes, We are working on this, and when we can, we will fill you in. I want to see authorities standing up side by side saying, we are working on this. This is our team of investigators. Give us some reassurance that something is happening, because right now these people are nothing more than people behind a Facebook post, and that's frustrating to me as well. I will link down below, again, Colby Ryan's YouTube channel. He posted one yesterday that was an absolute tearjerker, and I really want to forewarn you, grab some tissues. He was speaking to Charles and talking about his relationship with Charles and apologizing to Charles that he never got to say goodbye to him. I keep saying this, but it's heart-wrenching. That's what it is. It's just, it's horrible that all of this chaos is being caused by one person, and that person is Lori. Not only has she been a part of all of these mysterious circumstances that got us to this point, two of her children are missing. Her other son is pleading with her on social media. I will also link down below some of the unedited and uncut interviews with Kay and Larry Woodcock. I want you guys to actually sit down and watch those interviews in their entirety and really get a feel for what these people are going through. Lori's parents are still living. She has other siblings. Nobody is speaking up. Nobody is making a public plea to their sister or their daughter to do the right thing, to at least say where these children are. And whatever comes after that comes after that. But right now, these children are the most important. I would think that her parents or her other siblings, regardless of their relationship with her, would start making public pleas. Let her know that this is not okay. And she needs to have that from all angles. Clearly, she doesn't respect, anything that's going on here. And it's just now gaining speed. This case, I've been following this case since mid-December. And we're now February 1st, and it's just now gaining speed. So anybody and everybody that can make noise and get in her face and do these things to make her uncomfortable, the more the merrier. Okay, I'll stop ranting. I'm very sorry, but thank you for listening. And if you're still here, you're a rock star. Getting back to what might happen to Lori now. She could be charged with contempt of court. I mean, basically, contempt of court is bitch slapping the court in the face. The repercussions of that depends on who you bitch slapped and what they want to do about it. I've done some investigating. Here's what I've concluded so far. Lori can be picked up on the contempt charge. The problem is that it's not necessarily an extraditable offense. And because she's still hanging out on the beach in Hawaii, as far as anybody knows, it doesn't look good for the fact that they're going to extradite her. But because there's so many extenuating circumstances, not something that is used very often, but the possibility is definitely there. Now, there's been a lot of speculation and a lot of statements by, different law experts on the news channels, various ones throughout the country. One will say, oh, she can only be held for 5 days and she could face a fine of $5,000, which I'm sure she has that in her Ziploc bag, no problem. Others say that there's even the possibility that that judge can really stick it to her and keep her in jail until she gives up the information that was required on that court order. So these law experts aren't necessarily in agreement with each other, but we go from 5 days to indefinitely. So, and with this case, anything is really possible. We've all come to that conclusion at this point, regardless if you're new to the case or if you've been following it for as long as I have. All we can hope for at this point is that Tylee and JJ are located. There are a lot of people who are expecting the worst and truly believe that's what's going to come. Until that is confirmed in any way, shape, or form, we all need to hope against hope that they are recovered. Once those kids are recovered, then take the steps forward to finish investigating all this mysterious activity surrounding this woman, and hopefully have enough probable cause to charge her with other things and keep her ass off the streets. I have a feeling like I was just bitching about a minute ago about all these people coming forward. I feel like they're not coming forward because they're afraid of her and what she might do. The only saving grace to that is I feel like Alex was her go-to guy to do the shady shit, and he's no longer here. And I feel like he's no longer here because he knew too much information. That's just my opinion, Don't hold that as any sort of holy grail. That's just the way I feel about the situation. Thinking that all of these people are in fear of coming forward makes you really consider the fact that Kay and Larry and Colby stepping forward, they don't give a shit. They're not afraid of her. Even Brandon Bordeaux, who was shot at in his driveway, has come forward. He's doing interviews with the media. He's not afraid of her. Enough's enough. I just hate to think that people aren't stepping up because she has so much control and power over them with the fear factor. I hope that's not the case, but I fear that it is. So we're going to wrap this one up. I hope you guys learned something, even if you just, looking at that document, understanding what she was served with and what might happen going forward. Now, I am in no way, shape, or form a legal professional. I'm just relaying information that I've seen, that I've researched, and different things that have popped up in the media that experts are saying. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe and give me a big thumbs up. You guys have a great day. See you when I see you.
I'm Nate Eaton with EastIdahoNews.com in Kauai, where Chad and Lori Daybell were served with 2 search warrants just hours ago. Law enforcement officers from eastern Idaho, along with federal agents and the Kauai Police Department, pulled Lori and Chad over. They were driving a black SUV. They pulled into this resort where I am standing. They put Chad into one vehicle, Lori into another. That's when their vehicle was seized and they had no way to get home. We had a chance to ask them so many questions that need answers. Lori, Nate Eaton with East Idaho News. Can you tell me where your kids are? Where are your kids?
No comment.
No comment? They've been missing for 4 months. You have nothing to say? You're over here in Hawaii? Where are your children? Yeah, why don't you just give us a comment? Just tell us where they are. Chad, where are Lori's kids? What happened to Tammy, Chad? Can you tell us what happened to Tammy? Why have you guys been in Hawaii for so long? Listen, just tell people what's happening. There's people around the country praying for your children, praying for you guys. Why don't you give us answers?
That's great.
That's great. That's great that they're praying for you, praying for your kids. What? You have nothing to say? Did you do something to your children? Are your children still alive? That's a simple question. I've got 3 kids of my own. I can tell you every minute where my kids are at. Where are your children? What do you guys plan to do now? You have 5 days to get your children in front of a judge in Rexburg, then what? Are you guys innocent of any crimes? Have you committed any crimes? Chad, you guys have a lot to say on your podcast. You don't have anything to say now? Lori? Do you believe that you were instructed by God or others to do something for your children? If you could give a message to them, what would you say? Listen, if you just talk to us, we'll leave you alone.
The family's worried. Tammy's family's very worried.
Tammy's family's very worried. Lori, your mother, Kay, came out. Kay and Larry, they're offering a $20,000 reward for your children. And you're over here on the beach? This is your chance to tell your story. Nothing you want to say? One last chance right here? Anything you want to say to the people in Idaho? Lori, you have a lot of cash there in your baggie. Were you guys planning to leave Hawaii? Were you planning to take off? And with that, Chad and Lori darted into this resort, and they still have not come out. Now, police have not said what they are searching for in that SUV or in their home, but one thing that was not found is Lori's children. JJ and Tylee are still missing. Tomorrow, we will have much more from Hawaii. For now, I'm Nate Eaton reporting for EastIdahoNews.com.